All right, we're back with the Screen Team right here on Today's Talk 930 KWOC. We're also on FM 93.3, and you can stream us on your phone or your mobile device or your computer at KWOC.com. Our final piece in our 30 for 30 documentary series is You Don't Know Bo, the legend of Bo Jackson.
Oh, man.
Bo Jackson is he's a legend, and he's, back in the day, he was one of my favorite players of all time, man. When he came up with the kids, one of my first memories of Bo Jackson was his appearance at the All-Star game. I think it was in California.
San Francisco.
Was it in San Francisco?
Yeah. No, Anaheim. I'm mistaken.
Anaheim.
There you go.
He made I think he hit like a home run, and he made like two just beautiful, amazing catches, and that was like the first time I remember seeing Bo Jackson. I fell in love with his personality and his character and the way that he played, and I had like all the posters of Bo Jackson.
Bo knows, right?
I had the T-shirt Bo knows, and I was a huge Bo Jackson fan, and I guess this documentary kind of gets into the whole Bo Jackson phenomenon, and it goes into both his baseball and his football careers. Kyle, what were your thoughts on You Don't Know Bo?
I didn't get to grow up with Bo Jackson, unfortunately, and like our two-sport athlete was Deion Sanders. I'll trade you, because he's just a force of nature, and these mythical stories are like Paul Bunyan. People were talking about that he did when he was a child. For instance, he was at a lake with a coach and his girlfriend, and just in a standstill, Bo does a backflip in a lake. Like, what? It's insane. And all these things that people were saying that he was doing, if you didn't see them, they were local legend. Like you were like a living, breathing Paul Bunyan. He was just this incredible athlete. He hit the ball farther than anybody else. He threw farther and harder than anybody else. He ran faster than everybody. And then when he found out he was good at football, it was a done deal. Like, I wish I could have lived to see all of that.
So he has this legendary, mythical career, growing in high school and middle school and stuff like that. How about his college career? Where does he go for college?
He actually had living in Alabama. It's pretty obvious you have basically two choices. Mm-hmm. His first recruiter was Alabama, but they told him and his mother that he would not start till probably his junior year of college.
They told Bo Jackson he would not start until his junior year of college.
Yeah, I don't think that's such a good idea. So he says he comes home another day, and there's another recruiter sitting there with his mother from Auburn University, obviously Alabama's hated rival. Mm-hmm. And the head coach, his name's Pat Dye, tells him, I will put you in every possible opportunity to succeed. You will play as early as humanly possible. I think I'll go with the school that will let me play now if I'm Bo.
Of course.
And now, not only does he go there and star as a football player, he's a tremendous baseball player as well. And his crowning moment in college football, there were two of them. His freshman year in the Iron Bowl, which is, to the college football fan, the Auburn-Alabama game. And they literally run a play that is all it's called is Bo over the top.
Okay.
That is all it's called. No fancy football lingo. It's Bo over the top. So they give him the football. There's three backs in the backfield, and he just lunges over the Alabama defensive line. Touchdown Auburn. They beat them for the first time in almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And then in 1986, he wins the Heisman Trophy. Or 1985, he wins the Heisman Trophy. And he has the option to go to the NFL or play Major League Baseball. Tremendous at both. He gets drafted by the worst football team in the 1980s, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't wear those unis either. Just saying, ew.
They were pretty bad.
Not looking like a creamsicle up in here.
Right.
He gets the opportunity to go play for them, but he says that because they sabotage his opportunity to play baseball, he will not play for them. Mm-hmm. So he declares himself a free agent. And the story, too, why he wouldn't play for Tampa Bay, not just because they were horrible, they also drafted Steve Young on a side note. Ugh.
Did they really?
Supplemental draft, the same as Bo. He refused to play. Good career choice. But he was going on a trip to meet with the Buccaneers owner, mm-hmm. and he was unaware because he says that the owner told the NCAA that it is okay for him to make this trip, and apparently they lied. And when he found that out, he was not allowed to play baseball anymore. It ruined his eligibility for baseball season.
Oh, wow.
So that is why he refused to play for them. He re-entered the NFL as a undrafted free agent. He goes and gets signed by the freaking Oakland Raiders in the 7th round. So my question is, why are teams waiting this long to take this guy?
Yeah.
Come on. Al Davis, always a guy who loved big guys who are fast and physical, takes a chance on Bo. But he's going to play both. He's going to play both baseball and football.
Do you think that was the reason why? Because people didn't want him to play baseball?
That might have been because the season's late, with baseball season late, runs into the start of football season. But Al Davis, being a man who always loved to take chances, this was a guy who sued the NFL and won. You don't think he's not going to take a chance?
Right.
So he signs Bo. He agrees to allow him to play, and he signs with the Kansas City Royals to play professional baseball. And they strike a deal where it's perfectly fine for him to go back and forth. Let's just say he was a stud at both.
Yes, he was.
Just the feats that he did, watching him, and I know you remember this probably for the rest of your life. Monday Night Football at the Kingdome against the Seattle Seahawks. Bo versus the Boz.
And for those who don't know, didn't 30 for 30 make a documentary on the Boz?
It's called Brian and the Boz, and it's very good.
Yeah,
excellent piece.
He was basically a stud defensive linebacker who was huge in college. I mean, not only as a good player, but he was like a phenomenon as far as culture wise. People loved him. They did the haircut and stuff like that. So he was a big deal in college. He gets drafted, and he goes up against Bo Jackson, and what happens?
Well, they made it the goal line, and the irresistible force meets the immovable object, and the force won. Yeah. Bo ran him clean over in a one-on-one at the goal line, touchdown Oakland. And not just that, he still holds the record for this, the longest touchdown run in Raiders history, 93 yards, and he ran through the tunnel.
So did that count on the yardage too?
Oh, it total. I would give it to him. I mean, he actually said I didn't want to stop because I thought I would tear my ACL or something.
Yeah.
So he just kept on running. Bo Jackson was just absolutely incredible. He had power in football, tremendous power hitter in baseball. He could steal bases. He was a tremendous fielder. All-Star game, as you mentioned, he led off the game with a monstrous home run and made some tremendous catches.
Yeah.
Then we get to advertising Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah,
Bo knows. I know you know something a little bit about that.
Man, those commercials are awesome because they would play on the fact that Bo played both baseball and football. But did you know Bo plays hockey? Did you know that Bo is a runner? Did you know that Bo Jackson can play guitar? Did you know that?
You don't know Diddley.
Bo, you don't know Diddley.
Bo Diddley was in that piece too.
Oh, man.
I was watching those and just cracked up because the only Nike commercials from the 80s I remember were the It's the Shoes ones with Michael Jordan.
Right.
But seeing him, he's like banging up against guys on the glass in hockey, and Wayne Gretzky skates up and says, "Bo knows." Nah.
Yeah. Those pieces were just
those
so
were
good.
incredible, and Nike said to this day it is still their highest drawing advertising campaign of all time in the history of their company.
It's amazing. So okay, we have the height of Bo Jackson. With everybody's story, there's got to be some sort of decline or some sort of tragedy.
It was like a freak injury to this day because if you watch it on the documentary, it's a playoff game against Cincinnati, and he gets tackled in the open field, and the injury does not look that bad, but his leg is shredded, and he gets carried off the field. But you're thinking, oh, Bo Jackson's indestructible.
Right.
He'll bounce back from this just fine. He was never the same player in football. He played baseball a little bit longer, but was not the same player. He wasn't as mobile. He got bigger. The big highlight for the tail end of his career, 1993, he did win American League Comeback Player of the Year for the Chicago White Sox.
Right.
And he could still hit the ball pretty far away, but his mobility was just limited.
Wasn't it a hip injury?
It was a hip.
You know why I know that? Because my grandma at the time had a hip replacement. And she's like, I got the same thing Bo Jackson got. I'm like, awesome.
That is fantastic,
Grandma.
but it never looked that bad.
Yeah.
It looks like, okay, the guy just went down. He's limping a little bit.
But he wasn't
fine.
the same. He was not the same. I remember those days where he played with the White Sox because I became a White Sox fan because they changed their uniforms. They had those cool black, hats with the Sox emblem on it.
Right.
And they got Bo Jackson. They went to the playoffs for the first time in forever. They had Frank Thomas and Robin Ventura and Bo Jackson and
team.
Jack McDowell. And he struggled. He struggled a lot, especially in those postseason games. But
Yeah.
Bo Jackson, great player, and great documentary. You Don't Know Bo. Kyle, thanks again for doing this show. Next time we do this, I want to do Everybody Hates Christian Laettner.
Oh, well, that's a definite.
Can we do that one?
We'll have a lot of fun with that one.
All right. Kyle, do appreciate your time. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Screen Team. We'll have Chelsea in the studio. And, Kyle, I'm not looking forward to this show at all.
Why is that? What's going on here?
The first pick is Medea Family Reunion. All right, that's one right there.
You love some Madeira.
Oh, my goodness. And then our second one is a movie called Jupiter Ascending with Channing Tatum.
Nice.
And then Magic Mike XXL.
Oh no, you're gonna do this?
I've got to.
You've done 50 Shades of Grey, so all bets are off.
I've got to, man.
Oh,
so that's next week. Kyle, thank you for being on the show. Wish me luck next week. We'll be back with a brand new edition of the Screen Team here on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.